Welcome to Memorial Field in Mamaroneck. Alongside Sammy Bun, I'm Robert Riemer. It was just 1 year ago when we did the Port Jester versus Mamaroneck homecoming game, and today is homecoming again. It's Mamaroneck versus the Ketcham Indians. And Sammy, a great start for Mamaroneck this year, 2-0. What do you think about this game leading up to it?
Well, Robert, you have to look at the point spread for Mamaroneck. They have let up just 13 points so far in the first 2 games of the season, scored 44 as well, so they did play easier opponents. But as for RC Ketcham in this game, they have a very good quarterback in Kevin Duke. Look for them to go to the air early in this game to try to get an edge on this Mamaroneck defense. Mamaroneck defense hasn't just been tough this year. They've been tough for the last couple of years, and they're definitely starting to click now, so we'll see if Ketcham can get by him today.
What do you think about the Mamaroneck offense? Where do you think they're going to excel tonight?
Well, I think Mamaroneck's offense has to stick with the run game. Dan McCarthy has proved to be a very good quarterback, but I don't think he quite has the experience yet to lead this team in an important homecoming game like this. This has turned out to be quite a rivalry, a very exciting game last year. Ketcham pulled away 21-20 at home. So I think they stick to Robbie Nigro and Jackson Allen and see how the running game is going to establish in this one.
All right, well, it'll be an interesting game for sure. Matchup coming up next.
Mamaroneck High School, in a tradition of their own. They always step together as a team, so we ask the high school to please step forward as a team. Mamaroneck was coached by Mr. Anthony Vitti, with the assistant coaches Mr. Ron Donaghy, Mr. David Smith, Mr. Maurice Murray, Mr. Joe Toombs, Mr. Mike Chaparelli, Mr. Jason Washington, Mr. Justin Washington, and Mr. Aaron Tabak. Let's go. Guys, introduce yourselves to each other. First and last names, please. First and last names. All right, my fellow officials. We've got Bill Fox here. He's got the down box. We've got Bobby Tompkins. He's the umpire. He'll have all the holding, all the false starts, all the stuff in the middle of the play. Okay? That's got to come off. Tom Salamini has all the downfield play. He'll have the punts, the long punts, and I'm Joe Salamini. I'm the referee. I'm the guy to give you the good and the bad news. Now, if you have an option on a penalty, if you don't understand, ask me to repeat it. Okay? If we're really getting messed up, we'll get no. Barry Suman, we'll get help from coach. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? Please. Okay. So you guys in the visiting team, you will do the calling. Okay? I got a Kennedy half dollar. Barry or Jeff, please. Okay. That's the head. That's the tail. You call A. He's calling a tail. I'm going to let it hit the ground. Tails is the call and let it hit the ground. Tails is the call. It's heads, fellas. Heads. All right. We won the toss. Okay, let me write that down, and you're going to defend the goal. Let me just write this down.
Black Wings receives.
That means in the second half it's going to be your choice, okay? Now would you put me back to that goal, please? Put you back to
51, they'll come out on the field with those.
Black Vegas won the toss. Take what we see. Good luck, guys. Good luck.
Tonight's officials, referee, Mr. Joe Salamini, umpire, Mr. Bob Tompkins.
Let's go! To kick off is Francisco and Naya. And the kick will be returned by Jackson Allen. Jackson Allen to the 20-yard line. Oh my goodness, he's out to the 40, 50-yard line. Jackson Allen.
Marquez Jackson Allen starts the game off with a bang, and he's an explosive player. Just a sophomore. We've seen in his first 2 games and made a huge impact with his team. You saw his speed on that play. He's a key part of the special teams unit, but they're actually going to bring this one back.
So holding penalty, and they'll bring it back to about, say, the 20-yard line. But you're right, Sam. It does show his ability with his speed.
And it's a little bit disappointing. You saw that Jackson Allen had that great return to start the game. So a lot of the momentum just got shifted on the first play of the game. It's a big difference between the 50-yard line and the 15.
So the ball is going to be placed at the 20-yard line, and the shotgun McCarthy.
And Jackson Allen stays out in the game to start the game. No Robbie Nigro.
He drops back. And he'll throw it to Marino. And it is intercepted. Intercepted by Ketcham to the 40, 30. Out of bounds at the 28-yard line.
And the senior Tom Pennington had a very heads-up play. Marino beat him, but the throw by McCarthy was behind him. A good deflection by the corner in coverage, and then the safety, Pennington, was able to get in there and make the play.
I don't know if you could have had much a worse start from Mamaroneck, throwing an interception on your first play.
And that's not a way you want to start it, especially after you had that very bad penalty to start the game as well. So now we get to see for the first time today the long-anticipated Kevin Duke. And Kevin Duke, an All-American quarterback here for RC Ketcham, just a junior.
So Duke will snap it, and he throws off a screen to his wide receiver, and he breaks off a couple of tackles, and it'll be close to another first down. Now it's on to Morgenstern.
And there was a lot of questions coming into this game. RC Ketcham coming off of a big loss against Mayo Pack, Mamaroneck coming off of 2 big wins. But as you can see, Ketcham is no slouch. They're very good. They're a very solid offensive team, and you see their speed on offense to start the game right here. So Mamaroneck is going to be challenged right from the start.
And Duke will give it off to Walters, and he is eating up at about the 19-yard line.
And a good spread attack starting for RC Ketcham. See, they're trying to contain some of the Mamaroneck speed on defense. Mamaroneck, a very effective defense, only let up 13 points combined in their first 2 games, but they're going to be tested much more today.
So it'll be a second down and a few yards for the Ketcham Indians. And Duke is going to run it himself to the about the 10-yard line, right near the marker. I believe they're going to mark him short.
And Duke, he's one of those dual threat kind of guys. He can beat you with his legs or he can throw it. And we saw in warm-ups, he can absolutely gun the ball. Well, that's something you have to be careful about Mamaroneck too. He's like no other quarterback in the section who can throw the ball about 50 or 60 yards. So Mamaroneck, a team that usually likes to keep their safeties in, is going to have some trouble with that today.
Yes, and they'll come out in the wishbone, and they'll give it off to Walters, and he's out to about the 8-yard line, and it should be enough for a first down.
And a smart idea by the Indians there. Just stuff it right up the middle and get the yards you need. When you're so close to the goal line, there's a big difference between 7 and 3 points.
Certainly, you're right, Sam, and I think you're right also. Mamaroneck's very used to having their front seven dominating the offense, but I think this year, in this game against Ketcham, the defensive backs and the 4 defensive backs are going to have to step up big for Mamaroneck to win this game against Duke.
Kevin Duke truly is a spectacular athlete.
And you'll give it off to Walters, and he's just blown up to about the 11-yard line.
And that could be a preview of this game for the defensive line from Mamaroneck. One of the best defensive lines in the country, and it's all led by the anchor, John Schutte. And John Schutte is a key player for this defense. We saw him have a lot of rushes last 2 games ago, in their last home game. He had a couple of sacks, so really just an important part of this Mamaroneck defense.
So 2nd down and goal from the 10-yard line for Duke. And he'll roll out, and he throws it to the end zone, and just off his man. That was to Pennington.
And now this is a huge play coming up for the Mamaroneck defense. A 3rd down, and they really want to limit the damage to just 3 here following that interception. That could be make a world of a difference in this game.
Well, a lot of the experts were predicting this game to be very close between the 2 teams. So I think you're right, Sammy. A drop pass in the end zone or just a missed pass could be costly in this game. Both teams last year also played a very close game. It was a 1-point win for Ketcham. And he'll throw, and it's a touchdown for Ketcham. He threw it to his tight end. And Kevin Duke shows us what he's all about. He just throws and gets him downfield off the interception from that McCarthy threw, and it's 6-0 Ketcham.
And Ketcham early silencing the Mamaroneck crowd as you see the large student section piling into Mamaroneck here. They had a lot of success last year, absolutely blowing out their rival Portchester. But Ketcham is not going to make this easy.
And Naya for the extra point. Kicks up, and it is right on the money, and it's 7-0 Ketcham. We'll be right back. Back here on LMC-TV Varsity Sports, 8:57 left to go in the first quarter. Ketcham already off to a 7-0 lead. And Noya will squib kick it, and it will be picked up again by Jackson Allen. He returned one long last time, but holding penalty drove him back. This time he gets to the 30-yard line.
That could be a common motif in this game. Jackson Allen is a very dangerous return man. You also have Matt Marino back there. So I don't think Ketcham wants to give away any easy points in this game, and special teams points are about as easy as it comes.
So now let's see how Dan McCarthy comes back in here. He threw an interception on his first pass, a long ball to Marino. Let's see if he could respond and get some good passes in here and move Mamaroneck downfield. Snaps it, and he'll give it off, and that was, I believe, to Nigro for a minimal gain.
And I think that's what we should be seeing, what we will be seeing, and what we should be seeing in this game from Mamaroneck. They took a shot downfield because they know RC Ketcham has been preparing for the run all week long, so why not try a deep ball in the first play of the game? But I think that's what we're going to see more than nothing. Dan McCarthy only threw for 89 yards in his last game, but they rushed for over 200 against Mount Vernon, so it's something that you're going to see from this team.
So it's 2nd down and 8. McCarthy will throw, and he throws a screen to Marino. Marino, he has got big legs, and there's another penalty flag as he gets to the 45-yard line. But this one's probably going to be going back.
Robert, on that last play, you could see it looked like the halfback Robbie Nigro on the play, who was holding up the jersey of the Ketcham defender. And that was one of the big reasons why Marino had so much room. So a costly mistake for the Tigers early once again.
Well, penalties will definitely kill you, and it clearly has not been great for Mamaroneck today. 2 penalties already, and we're not even 4 minutes into this ballgame.
And so we could actually see that a lot. Matt Marino, the senior captain of this team, and he is a gamer. He is one of the best players on this team, and he's been one of the best players on this team since his junior year. And he's one of the key targets for this Mamaroneck team. So maybe even interesting if they use him in the run even in this game.
So they're going to bring them all the way back to the 23-yard line. It's going to be a second down and about 16 yards to go. You'd expect that Mamaroneck may need pass here, but they may try to draw it in Donaghy. Drops back and he will pass, and he's under pressure and he throws to Donaghy on a screen, and I think the pressure was just a little too much for him.
And now this brings up a big third down. And this is not the Mamaroneck Tigers team that we saw coming into this season, as they are dropping downs like it's nobody's business right now. And now on third down right here, they're in another tough spot far behind the line of scrimmage. So we'll see what weapons Coach Anthony Vitti chooses to have an attempt here, even to get the first down.
So it'll be third down and about 16 yards. Would expect a bit of a conservative defense here. Probably let up a couple yards on a pass, but try to defend against the long ball. And McCarthy will roll back, and he throws, and it is nearly intercepted. The intended receiver was Marino, who was about 5 or 10 yards downfield, and Mamaroneck will be forced to punt here.
And this is definitely what you do not want to see out of this Mamaroneck offense. Their strongest unit on the entire team is their offensive line, and they are getting dominated to start this game. Although Ketcham has been blitzing an extra man, it's not just that there's been one guy in the backfield. They have 3 or 4 guys in the backfield. It's really hard to get a good, accurate pass off there. And you saw that Matt Marino had to escape all the way back to his own end zone. So we'll see if Mamaroneck can look to improve in that later in this game.
So Mamaroneck's going to punt it. It's a high snap to Marino, and it's going to go through the end zone for a safety, and now it's 9-0. 9-0 Ketcham. I don't know if Mamaroneck could have envisioned a worse start than this, Sam.
We saw that last week. Matt Marino actually had to run back 50 yards. Sorry, 2 weeks ago. He had to run back 50 yards before he was able to punt it. And there's no room for mistakes at that when you're inside your 20-yard line. And now a very costly mistake as Ketcham takes a 2-score lead very early in this one.
We'll be right back on LMC-TV Varsity Sports. 6:54 left to go in the first quarter. Mamaroneck down 9-0. They're going to have to kick it from the 20-yard line after a safety on a bad snap. And Compy will kick it off. And it'll be returned at about the 30-yard line. He's going to be stuffed at about the 40.
And now already up by 2 scores. Ketcham will have extremely good field position, and this is their worst field position of the game so far, starting at their own 41. So these are some stressful times for Mamaroneck. I wonder what Anthony Vitti is telling to his team over there on the sidelines.
I think right now there has to be a lot of concern in those sidelines, but also the fans don't seem to be too enthusiastic. I remember last year at homecoming when they were blowing out Portchester, everyone was really excited. Maybe the fans, if they get one big play, get back into this game and really help out Mamaroneck to get some momentum.
Now maybe we'll see if they'll use some of their main players on defense as well.
So that was a 5-yard handoff to his fullback, and they'll bring up a second down and 5. Or actually, there was a timeout.
Well, that's not very good for Mamaroneck. They know that they knew coming into this game that they were going to have trouble stopping the pass because Kevin Duke is just such a phenomenal quarterback. But if Ketcham can get the run going, then they're really going to be unpredictable for this defense, and it's really going to be a problem.
There was some clock trouble. That was the reasoning for the delay. It's 7:20 left to go in the first quarter, and they have a second down and 5 from their own 47. And Kevin Duke now under center. And he'll hand it off to his fullback again. And that is to Skiana, and that's going to be just sort of a first down.
Now ball at midfield. You see that marker at the 51. So now a big play here. Mamaroneck's got to watch for play action on this one too, because this could be a play where Kevin Duke can really hurt you.
We'll see. Right now, the offensive line for Ketcham seems to be dominating the Mamaroneck defensive line. I think the defensive line, led by John Schutte and brother Ryan Schutte, is really what has been like the strong point for Mamaroneck in the last couple of years. And now they come out on the wishbone, and again, they'll give it to Skiana, and he gets a first down and a lot more to about the 44-yard line.
They are working the run to perfection, running that wishbone offense, like you said before, Robert. And the thing with the wishbone, especially when you have such a strong quarterback, you have so many different options. Mamaroneck doesn't really know what's going to happen, but after 3 straight runs to the fullback, you think it would get predictable, but there are just so many players that you have to account for on this team.
So it's first down and 10. They send a man in motion, and they'll give it off now on a reverse play and a big hit at about the 40-yard line. They hand that one off to DeAndre Jones.
This could be a big drive for Ketcham. If they're able to put up points here, that's really a tough deficit to come back from, especially with their offense struggling. This could be a very important touchdown for RC Ketcham.
I think right now they also seem very content on just running the football up the middle, and we'll see if Mamaroneck can stop that and force Duke to pass more. Now they're in the shotgun with 3 wide receivers. And Duke's going to run, and he goes right through for another solid gain, and that'll bring up about a 3rd down and 2.
And it's really tough when they're just stuffing it right up the middle, and Ketcham is going to get 3 or 4 yards per game. And that's really what's going to cause problems with this Mamaroneck defense. It's going to keep them on the field for a long time. It's going to tire them out. And also, the time of possession is really going to add up. It's going to lead to some points.
Right now, Mamaroneck only has 4 offensive plays right now, and compared to the Ketcham amount of plays in this game, it's not even close. So it's going to be a 3rd down and about 2. And he's going to give it off to his fullback again, Skiana, and he breaks through to about the 18-yard line.
And there are holes all over this team right now, and the Mamaroneck defense cannot stop Greg Skiana right now. You see him coming out of the backfield. He's a big old fullback, but he can run like it's nobody's business, and you saw him there in just a couple of seconds break about a 9 or 10-yard gain.
We'll see if Mamaroneck goes into a more of like a 5-2 or sort of set, because I think they need to get some defensive linemen up front. The offensive line is just making gaping holes. It's an easy run for all of the Ketcham running backs.
Well, you see the linebacking core starting to cheat up a bit.
And they'll give it off again, and to the 10 to about the 5 to the 3-yard line goes Morgenstern, and Sammy, it's just the same old right now for Ketcham. They're just running it right up the middle, and nothing Mamaroneck can do about it.
Ketcham is one of the best section quarterbacks in the one of the best quarterbacks in this section, but you don't really need him when your offensive line is working like this. And they're showing that. They haven't attempted a pass yet in this drive, and they've moved the ball all the way down to the 3-yard line.
So it's going to be 1st down and goal to go. And a timeout is going to be called. We'll be right back. And back here on LMC-TV Varsity Sports. A very critical 1st down and goal to go for Ketcham. Already up 9-0, and there's been clock issues throughout this whole entire game. Now there's only 2:40 left to go in the 1st quarter. Now in the wishbone formation, they'll hand it off, and he will get close to the goal line, waiting for the call, and he is going to be down. There's actually a fumble, but it seems like it was picked up by Ketcham.
And so this could change a lot of the game. It looks like Ketcham held on to it, but that could have been the momentum shifter that Mamaroneck really needed in this one.
Certainly it would have. Being down 9-0 compared to 16-0 is a whole lot different.
Especially where they would have gotten the ball, though it wouldn't be ideal. You have some good running backs, and you do have a good offensive line despite what's happened so far in this game.
And Ketcham now on the wishbone again, and it's going to be a play action, and Duke is going to try to run it himself. Now throws, touchdown. Right now, Ketcham's just schooling Mamaroneck.
And that was one of the best plays I've seen all year out of these high school players. You saw Kevin Duke, you just see the awareness that he had on that play. He's going to scramble out to the left side, and the second that he sees there's no daylight, he's going to look upfield, and he sees you have 3 wide receivers running to the end zone. He picks his best target, and he delivers a perfect throw. Great play by Kevin Duke.
And now it's going to be Naya to kick the extra point. And the kick is up, and it is good. And it's 16-0. Ketcham over Mamaroneck. Not the start they wanted. 2:04 left to go in the first quarter. We'll be right back. And back here on LMC-TV Varsity Sports. 16-0 Ketcham over Mamaroneck. Another squib kick. And it's going to be picked up this time again by Jackson Allen. Jackson Allen is going to cross field to the 20, out to the 30-yard line. Jackson Allen! He was about a fingernail away from breaking that one. He gets to about the 40-yard line.
And I think Jackson Allen's own momentum took him down on that play. There was some contact at about the 30-yard line, but he may have had enough to break through there. Just the amount of momentum he had heading towards the sidelines, he just had to just duck and roll on that one.
Sam, I sure thought he was going to break that one open. If he did, if he held up, I think he may have been gone there. He had the kicker to get through, and he may have been able to beat him. So it's at the 37-yard line. First down and 10 for Mamaroneck, down 16-0.
And on that play, you saw the Mamaroneck fan section get into it. So is that the kind of momentum that they need to change this game?
So McCarthy snaps it, and he'll give it off. And now that is to Nigro, and he'll get a couple of yards.
And that's important. I think that's what Mamaroneck should have been doing from the beginning. But if they can get to that now, Robbie Nigro and Jackson Allen are two very skilled backs. Robbie Nigro, the more experienced back. So just get it to your captains. 1 minute left. Just get it to your captains and see what they can do.
Well, you know, Sam, also, it's not too often you're down 16-0 and you've ran 5 plays from scrimmage. And I think right now Mamaroneck feels like this game really hasn't even started for them, and they're already down 16-0. So let's see if they can get a drive going here. It's going to be second down and about 7. Cross back, and he'll give it off to Nigro again. He's stuffed at the 35-yard line.
And Robert, I have to tell you, Mamaroneck is not going to get anywhere on offense with that kind of blocking. You saw on the 2 guards and the center on that play, they just tried to collapse right from the start. And Ketcham came out with a lot of fire and was able to plug it right up the middle, make sure that Nigro wasn't going anywhere on that play.
Well, we'll see how Mamaroneck can respond. It's a 3rd down and 9. Ball at the 38-yard line.
And now here's an opportunity where you look for Matt Marino. Dan McCarthy's going to line up in the shotgun because
that seems like it's going to be the end of the first quarter. We've been having clock issues, but Mamaroneck down 16-0 to Ketcham. We'll be right back.
We welcome you back here to Mamaroneck High School Memorial Field, to Mamaroneck's homecoming game. And it has been a pretty sour homecoming game. I'm Sam Blunt alongside Robert Riemer. The Tigers trail 16-0 to the RC Ketcham Indians. And now a big 3rd down and 9 for the Mamaroneck Tigers. So they have not moved the ball well at all. Robert, you mentioned before, they've only gotten off 6 plays from the line of scrimmage in that first quarter. And down early, this could be a big spot for senior captain Matt Marino. Dan McCarthy back in the shotgun. He's got some time. He's looking deep. He's got a man complete. Over the middle was Alex Parkinson, who took that one down to about the 20. And a huge play from Matt McCarthy. That one was actually Will Hoffman on the catch that time. I apologize.
That was a great play by Will Hoffman to get downfield, but an even better catch. I mean, an even better throw by McCarthy. I was worried because there were 3 wide receivers on the right side being defended by 2 by Ketcham, but he threw it hard to the harder man, and he completed it. And that's exactly what Mamaroneck needed, a big play, because they haven't been able to run the ball consistently yet this game.
And you saw the speed by Will Hoffman on that play, just breaking free of the cornerback in coverage. So now this brings up an interesting opportunity for the Tigers to get on the board here. McCarthy handoff to Nigro. Nigro back to about the 15, trying to break through. And he is down at about the 14. And Robbie Nigro had a rough first quarter, but if they could get the passing game going here, Robbie Nigro can be a lethal player for this Mamaroneck team.
I think they may want to try pounding it more and more. You want to make the defense tired. And I think maybe if it's not working right now, it may later in the game when you really need it. So I think running is still important for Mamaroneck.
Well, also, they don't want to be too predictable. We saw Ketcham have some success in Nigro with the ball again. He's going to get to about the 10. That's going to be another Mamaroneck first. Well, it's going to be close to another Mamaroneck first down. Not sure if he actually got there. And they're going to be moving the chains right now as it is 1st and goal for the Mamaroneck Tigers. There was some clock malfunctions in the first quarter. The clock appears to be correct right now. 10:40 remaining in the second quarter. Mamaroneck trails 16-0, but they are knocking on the door here. First and goal from the Ketcham 10-yard line.
One thing of note is Mamaroneck has been known to go for two often with a 29-7 win last week, and they went for two also in their first game against Suffern. So I think a 16-0 lead very may well be just a two-possession lead.
McCarthy on the pitch to Nigro. Nigro gets to the outside, but he's going to be stopped at about the 7 or 8 yard line that time. I think forward progress will get him to about the 7. And now, Robert, an interesting spot for Mamaroneck. It still is only second down, but you got to move the ball these 7 yards. A field goal is not acceptable. So what do you do here? It's probably 4 down territory here, unless you just take the points. But if you're Coach Anthony Vitti, what do you make use of these 3 plays that you have?
I think you maybe want to try a run here on second down, see if you get close enough. But if not, I think then you have to pass. That is where you've been successful today. You have receivers open, you have Marino and you have Hoffman. I would try that if you don't have a successful run here with Jackson Allen.
Well, a lot of chance for some speed here. McCarthy back in the gun. Corner to Marino, but he let him a bit too far out of bounds. That'll bring him a big third down.
He had him open too. He just overthrew it a little bit to the sideline. I think he wanted to make sure it wasn't intercepted like one of his last fade patterns was, but he was definitely open on that play, and I would like to see them try that again. Don't shy away from it. There is a mismatch when you're on Marino.
And a little bit of an inconvenient time for the wind to start to pick up a little bit. So it was moving down towards that near sideline. And the Mamaroneck Tigers, a big spot here. They got to put up some points, but we'll see. They do not want to settle for a field goal right now. So senior captain Matt McCarthy Senior captain Dan McCarthy will have an opportunity here, but he will have an opportunity to score following the timeout. Timeout, Tigers on the field, 16-0. We're back in just a second on LMC Varsity Sports. And so we come back here in a big spot for the Mamaroneck Tigers. Dan McCarthy is going to line up in the shotgun. He's got Jackson Allen instead of Nigro to his right side. A big spot here, third down and goal from the 9. McCarthy in a lot of trouble. Breaks a tackle, throws to the end zone. And it was deflected in the end zone. His intended target was Matt Marino. A good try by McCarthy, but it was a little short on the play. And that'll bring up a big decision here for the Tigers on 4th and goal from the 9.
Yeah, I think this is very interesting. I think it depends how confident you are in Compy to make this field goal.
We're going to see. We'll see what they'll do here. Dan McCarthy stays on the field right now. So this could be an early big point in the game. 4th and goal from their own 9. Sorry, from the RC Ketcham 9. And the Mamaroneck Tigers have a chance to claw right back into this one. RC Ketcham's offense has been dominating so far, so you don't want to give them the ball back, still down 16-0. McCarthy in the gun again. He's got time to the end zone, overthrown, and it's a turnover on downs for the Tigers, and you can just feel the momentum shift.
One thing that you do get, though, from not kicking the field goal, even though they didn't get it, the field position is very poor now for Ketcham at about the 8 yard line, so I think although they didn't get the field goal, the field position may be equalizing for that factor of not going for the field goal.
Well, Robert, you could take that as a good thing, or you could even take that as a bad thing. Ketcham has been absolutely dominating this Mamaroneck defensive line, so with an open field ahead of them, you could see this as just as a chance for Ketcham to tire out this Mamaroneck defense some more. They have a lot of big targets. They have a lot of big players on this team. They have a lot of big backs, a lot of speed. So we'll see how they approach it here inside their own 10-yard line. Kevin Duke is off to a very good start this season. He's playing very well in this one. He's going to hand this one off. He's going to break a tackle, still on his feet. Now he's going to be brought down. And a block came in at the end of the play. And it looks like there's a penalty flag on the play. A late hit came in from RC Ketcham.
You have Hoffman claiming that he has the ball for a fumble from Mamaroneck.
Hoffman took the ball away on that play, but it looked like the whistle was blown.
It's still Indian ball.
And with 8:30 to go, that could have been a great way for Mamaroneck to get the ball right back.
The Ketcham tailback was actually fumbling that ball while he was running. I don't know if his knee was down and he regained possession of it, but Mamaroneck came up with the ball anyhow. Just a lot of issues on that play. The officials didn't seem to quite know what went on.
And it looked like they blew the whistle a little prematurely on that play. That could have been the problem on that one. But any way you look at it, it's Duke back in the pocket again. He's going to hand it off to his running back again. Now a flag comes in. Flag came in late, and it looks like it could have even been a face mask against the Tigers. But they're actually going to be bringing this one back. And so the holding penalty against the RC Ketcham Indians is going to put them back against their own end zone here.
This will create difficult field position for them.
Mamaroneck starting to stop the run a little bit more here. And now that'll bring up about a 2nd and 17. Looks like they're discussing the penalty still down there on the field. Duke comes back on the field. We'll see where the referee places the ball. Looks like it's going to be at about the 6-yard line. So Ketcham is even back a couple of yards from where they started. That'll bring up a 2nd down and about 13. And Duke is going to be forced to throw or run the ball out of his own end zone. Duke is back to pass. It's a short strike over the middle. His wideout is going to fight to get to about the 17-yard line. Sorry, that's actually the 14-yard line.
We were commenting before the game that Duke has quite an arm, and he just showed it off there. He has a real bullet.
That one actually got to the 19-yard line, and it is a 1st down for RC Ketcham.
Bears on the 20-yard line of the
Now Ketcham back out of their own end zone here. And they can line back up in that wishbone formation. Handoff by Duke. He's going to be wrapped up and brought down on the play. Looked like it was the fullback that time, Tom Scianna. And Scianna's had a lot of the carries so far for the Indians. He's carried a lot of the load offensively.
2nd down.
Duke gonna stay in the wishbone here. Scianna in the backfield once again. Duke is gonna have some time on play action. He was brought down looking deep. Almost intercepted and then complete. But it was deflected by Robbie Nigro. That'll bring up a 3rd down for the Indians.
Duke showing off his arm there. Now with how far he could throw it. I think Nigro made a great play there, though, to deflect the pass.
And Duke on play action that time, he did not have a lot of time once the rush got to him. And when he threw that ball downfield, that was scary accurate while he was still on the run being rushed by 2 defenders. So a great effort by Kevin Duke on that play, but also a great effort by Robbie Nigro to deflect that ball away. That'll bring up an interesting situation here, 3rd down. And Duke back to throw again. He's got a wide open man, complete to the 50. He's gonna have space and he's brought down at about the 20. And J.J. Mulvey on the completion that time. Took that one, rushed that one for about 30 extra yards following the grab. There was nobody in a 10-yard radius of him.
Mamaroneck completely bit on the run there, and I don't know why in a 3rd down and long situation, but he was wide open. And you're right, Sam, he had plenty of space and he ran 30 yards because of it. It was a good throw by Duke, but he was just so wide open, I don't know who could have missed him.
And Coach Anthony Vitti It's got to be some stressful moments down there. 16-0, his team's trailing, and RC Ketcham is knocking on the doorstep once again. Duke under pressure, throws a nice screen, but a great tackle that time from Robbie Nigro, the senior captain who can just about do it all.
The fans are definitely agreeing with you there. That was a great tackle by Robbie Nigro as they're shouting his name.
Fans are trying to stay optimistic in this one, but it's getting hard to be. A field goal here makes it a 3-score game. This has just been a rough first half for the Mamaroneck Tigers. Duke is going to be back to throw on this one. He's got 2 receivers on his near side. His fullback Skiana, and he hands it off. No, sorry, he's going to keep it. Faked me out on that play, and he rushes ahead to about the 19.
You know, they're running a real sort of option-y sort of offense, and Duke is really showing not only his arm, but he really can roll out a lot too.
And in this one, Duke is almost showing us that his arm is just secondary. He's been using his speed a lot in this one, and whenever he runs into trouble, like you saw on the touchdown pass in the previous drive, he's going to be able to throw. Third down once again here for RC Ketcham from the Mamaroneck 19. Back to throw again is Duke. He's got a man wide open again. And they're going to keep moving the chains.
Pass complete to Mulvey.
And J.J. Mulvey on the completion once again. He just had a big one for about 45 yards in the play before.
4-minute warning.
And that's going to be the 4-minute warning here. 4-minute warning added to high school football earlier this year. And we'll take a short break and get right back to you. As they're set to take the field here, just 4 minutes remaining in this first half. It has been all RC Ketcham. And boy, Robert, we haven't said that in a while. This Mamaroneck team has been pretty effective over the last couple of years.
This is the 4th game I've announced for Mamaroneck, and the 3 others I did, they were all blowouts for Mamaroneck, so it's kind of funny seeing them down.
And we're going to have another timeout here on the field. RC Ketcham will take a timeout. We'll get right back to you here on LMC's Varsity Sports. They take the field once again here, 3:44 remaining in the first half. Not quite sure how accurate that is. So it was just the 4-minute warning, but following the timeout, RC Ketcham is going to have, it actually looks like a 4th down here for Ketcham. On the give, it's Skiana, and Skiana is going to fight ahead for some big yards.
There was a pretty good bet they were going to give it to Skiana on that play.
That's going to be a 1st down.
I like how they're showing the wishbone. It's a bit of a throwback. Not too many teams run that anymore in high school or college or NFL football, but they've been running it about half the place here.
And they've been running it pretty well. So we've seen they have a lot of speed on this team, a lot of different options, and they've been using it pretty well. Maybe even that Mayo Pack game was helpful to them because you play a very talented defense in the Mayo Pack defense. And even though they got beat pretty bad in that one, they looked very prepared coming to this one. Powering ahead is the fullback Skiana again. But Skiana is going to be brought down at about the 6-yard line. And as a whole, the Ketcham backs have had 66 yards rushing. And Kevin Duke has been very impressive to start this one. 7 for 9 for 111 yards and a touchdown. And now Kevin Duke is going to line up in the shotgun here on 2nd down. Duke back to throw. Threw it over his intended man. And there was some contact there in the secondary.
Yeah, they definitely wanted pass interference there.
There's some contact. Double covered was his man. His intended target was his fullback, his backup fullback, Elon Walters. And Kevin Duke has been moving the ball pretty well down the field, leading this offense. but it's been when he's been inside the 10 or 20 yard line where he's relied on his arm more, which is not what you usually see, especially in high school football. And now a little bit of miscommunication on the Mamaroneck side, and they're going to take another timeout, and so will we. 2:30 remaining in the first half. Tigers trail 16-0. And an important play coming up here for the Mamaroneck defense. 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line.
You know, Sammy, this may be the toughest test on Mamaroneck's schedule against Ketcham today. And this goal line stand, if they could get it, will perhaps be huge if they could go undefeated this season.
3rd and goal, man in motion. Duke rolls out, he's got a man open. Touchdown, RC Ketcham. Who else but J.J. Mulvey? He had 3 receptions on the drive. One of them went for big yardage, and now he'll cap it off with a touchdown. 22-0 RC Ketcham.
Domination in the pass, the run, in the time of possession, on special teams, everything going RC Ketcham's way right now, and it's indicated by the 22-0 score.
And this is a very sour homecoming game so far for Mamaroneck. They have not played well defensively. Now flags come down prior to the extra point. It's going to be a false start against RC Ketcham. May not be a problem here as their kicker has been very solid so far. And Robert, back to what you were saying before, RC Ketcham, they thought coming into the year they were going to have a tough task taking on Ramapo, but in the opener, RC Ketcham took care of Ramapo pretty easily, so this could easily be the toughest team on their schedule.
Yeah, Mamaroneck plays Ramapo next week, and they've already beaten Mount Vernon, who they also play. So I think really this may be their one loss on the schedule if they can't get it. They can't come back here.
And the snap is over the head of the Ketcham long returner, and Ayana's just going to have to dive on this one. And so, with 2:22 remaining in the first half, RC Ketcham leads the Mamaroneck Tigers 22-0. We're back in just a minute. And so following a big drive capped off by a touchdown pass to J.J. Mulvey, the 3rd touchdown pass of the game for star quarterback Kevin Duke. Now Mamaroneck is in a big hole with just 2:22 remaining in the first half. They're going to have to score, and they're going to have to score quick if they're going to want to stay in this one.
Yes, they also don't get the ball to start the half either, Sam. So I think this is a vital opportunity for them to claw back into this game.
And a big mistake for Mamaroneck in the first half. They gave away their first possession with an interception. Now this one is going to be picked up that time by John Schutte. And Schutte's going to run that one out to about the 39.
Come on, D!
That's not something you'll see every day. Big John Schutte. He's got some wheels, though, and we've seen him on defense use that a couple of times. Not a bad return on that one, picking up an extra couple of yards.
Now he's finally seeing how it feels to be tackled.
Not so good on the other side,
Yeah.
Robert? So that'll bring up 1st down and 10 for the Tigers, coming from their own 40. They had a very disappointing last drive as they turned the ball over on downs at their own at the RC Ketcham 9. Handoff is to Nigro. Nigro with some space. Nigro's out to the 30. He's gonna take this one. Touchdown, Robbie Nigro. The Tigers aren't quite done yet. 22-6. And the homecoming crowd finally gets something to cheer about, as with exactly 2 minutes to go in the first half, Robbie Nigro takes one the distance, 60 yards.
Well, if you're looking for a spark.
And that's definitely, he's been that kind of guy for them over his career. We'll see, we saw them fake an extra point actually twice. Jackson Allen is going to get the direct snap. He is all alone. The 2-point conversion is good. And the Mamaroneck Tigers are right back in this one, 22-8. We're back in just a minute. So maybe just the spark the Mamaroneck Tigers need to get back in this one. A 60-yard run for Robbie Nigro. And on one play, Mamaroneck makes it a 2-score game again. They still give R.C. Ketcham a lot of time to move the ball down the field. A wobbler. A big chop block coming in there at the end of the play, and now some pushing. A huge hit came in there. On the return was Micah Abashanab.
A player for Ketcham lost his helmet on that play, as there was a big hit in there.
There was a big hit on that play, like you said. Ketcham was looking for a penalty, but the game definitely starting to get chippy in just the first half.
Back to their own 25.
And now here's a spot for the Mamaroneck defense, having to face Kevin Duke, one of the best quarterbacks in the section, and they gotta get a stop here. They cannot let them drive the football down the field to end the half. Like you said earlier, Robert, R.C. Ketcham gets the ball to start the second half. That could just be it from Mamaroneck if they can prove that their defense cannot stop Kevin Duke.
Well, we'll see. 152 is plenty of time left to go for Ketcham to score here.
Duke is going to hand this one off, and he's got nothing on the play. The give was to the halfback, the fullback, Tom Skiana. And we talked to him 2 weeks ago, Tyler Cruz, one of the big core players on this team, offensive end, defensive line. We saw him come up with a big tackle there. Mamaroneck really starting to pull back into this one, and it hasn't exactly been a blowout to this point. It really has just been a lot of mistakes by the Mamaroneck Tigers, and R.C. Ketcham's ability to capitalize on that. And they're just one of those teams that's very good. And they're going to be, if you're going to make a lot of mistakes in a game, they're going to make sure they don't go unnoticed. Very dangerous pass by Kevin Duke into the middle of the field. Jackson Allen was the first one to get a hand on it, and that'll bring up a big third down for R.C. Ketcham.
Well, it's very clear that the momentum is back in Mamaroneck's hands. As I think right now Duke is a little flustered.
And Duke has had some problems. Well, he hasn't had many problems today, but we've seen when he's under pressure, he has some problems moving the football. So we'll see a big third down. R.C. Ketcham has been very effective on third down. They've converted 4 of them already in this game. Duke on the run. He's got plenty of time. Now he doesn't. Looking deep, and he's overshot him. No flag on the play, and with 1:02 to go, the Tigers are going to get the ball back. What a change in momentum over the last 2 minutes of the game. Sorry, the half.
Well, still plenty of time for Mamaroneck to run downfield and score again. And I think if you told them a couple minutes ago that they could be down 22-15 in this half, they surely would have taken it. So they're going to really try to get this opportunity. That would be very big if they could come back and go into the locker room with all that momentum.
So the first punt of the game for R.C. Ketcham, and we saw a couple of weeks ago the dynamic duo of Robbie Nigro and Matt Marino back to receive these punts. They keep them both out there because they are the key players of this team. Good long snap that time, and it's a wobbly kick. Marino calls for a fair catch at about the 48. The half's not quite over yet, folks. 22-8, Ketcham leads. And the Mamaroneck Tigers set up from their own 48. 52 yards is the magic number to make it a one-score game going into half. McCarthy back to throw, looking deep over the middle, and Matt Marino almost got his hands on it. He was at about the 6-yard line. Another good pass by McCarthy, but a good job by the R.C. Ketcham secondary to get a hand on that one.
Well, Jacob Morgenstern for R.C. Ketcham actually got his hands on it, and he just went right through them. He had it right there for the big interception, but he missed it.
That could have been big for R.C. Ketcham, as Dan McCarthy's had some problems throwing the football today, as he has had some very big passes, including one to Will Hoffman, but a big interception has been his biggest problem. McCarthy has a great arm. We'll see what he does here. Hand off to Nigro, and Nigro is wrapped up in the backfield. Stopped at about the 48.
Well, Mamaroneck's going to have to hurry it up now.
With no timeouts left and just 30 seconds remaining. They're actually going into the huddle. They're going to do the hurry-up huddle right there.
Yep, well, they can't run it anymore to Nigro, I don't think.
McCarthy rolls out. McCarthy looking at the first down. Did he hold on to it, Marino? Now they said it bounced. So with 16 seconds to go, that'll bring up a 4th down and 10 for the Tigers, and we should see a punt here. That should get us to the end of the first half. And the clock actually, there's been another clock malfunction. So there's just 6 seconds remaining in the first half.
Well, maybe if that's the case, you wanted to try a Hail Mary if you're Mamaroneck, because it'll probably run out of time anyway on that type of play. So, I think that's actually what they're going to do.
Yeah, Robert, it looks like they heard you as Dan McCarthy's back out there here on 4th down and 10. He's got all of his speedsters out there, and McCarthy's got quite an arm. McCarthy in trouble. Rolls out. There was a holding penalty on the play, so it should be coming up. Throws it up. Incomplete. There was a penalty flag on the play. It looked like holding on the Mamaroneck offense. But it looks like it's not going to matter.
Referee's timeout. Face mask. One more play. One more
And there was actually a penalty on RC Ketcham. So with no time left, Dan McCarthy will have one more shot at throwing it deep.
I did not expect that. I thought it was holding for sure. I think everyone in the field thought it was holding.
And so that is a big change here for Mamaroneck, as they will have a shot. They're going to move the ball up. Looks like it's just going to be a 5-yard penalty. It's actually going to be a 10-yard penalty. Not sure what the penalty was. They're going to move this one up all the way to the 38.
Well, I think it was hands to the face on the defense, which is a personal foul. That's why it was 15 yards to him.
We'll see if that's a mistake that can come back to haunt RC Ketcham. McCarthy, not a lot of time, looks deep for Alex Parkinson. Parkinson's got it! At about the 6. There's a second left on the clock. But they say it's incomplete. They say that Parkinson dropped it and time was out anyway. That is the end of our first half here on LMC-TV's Varsity Sports. A very exciting first half. Stay with us. We're going to have Tom Moretti come on to talk about the Mamaroneck hockey season at halftime, so stick with us, and we'll be right back with you in just a minute. We're back here on LMC-TV's Varsity Sports here on the halftime show. You can see the halftime show, the Mamaroneck Force drum band and the cheerleaders exiting the field. Mamaroneck trails RC Ketcham in their homecoming game 22-8. And here with me right now on the halftime show is highly awaited Mamaroneck hockey prospect Tom Moretti. And Tom, your Mamaroneck Tigers had a pretty disappointing year last year, but you have a lot of key players returning. Who do you think is going to be very important to success this year?
Well, offensively, we have our 3 big guys, Teddy Bellis, Trejo Ferguson, and Peter Conley, which we hope to lead off on offense for us. Defensively, we have Josh Chris, who's always a very solid defenseman, and then hopefully we get Brian Schiff back, who was out all last year. And then we hope to get a lot out of Thomas Burl and net this year. So we have a lot of good seniors and even a junior in there, which could be very helpful for our season this year.
And Brian Schiff was a very highly awaited player last season, but was out most of the year with an injury. But now on to this season, you had a couple of seniors who graduated. Nathan Mullaney, who played with the team for a long time. Who do you see replacing them this year? Not even replacing them, but taking their place. Any younger players, sophomores, juniors?
Well, Nathan was very good. I mean, it's very hard to replace a player like him. So, I mean, we have a good forward in Spencer Kufferberg, who has got a great shot. He's really up there in our junior class this year. We have Erik Almessiano, who's got a great head for hockey as well, and then you have Cooper Lavin, who's also very good. So we've got a lot of good juniors coming up, and then even a lot of younger kids as well in the sophomore and freshman class who we've been waiting for a long time. So
Mamaroneck always having a very good younger program. JV and modified, always a very successful unit. But now I'm going to talk to you about the hated ones, the big rivals, the Suffern Mounties. You guys have not had a lot of success with them in the past. How can you change the game plan this year to try to get a couple of wins off of the Suffern Mounties this year?
Well, Coach Chaparral, put a great message into our heads last season in the playoff game, and that was just, really just take advantage of every opportunity you get. Make it last, and then for obviously for hockey's terms, it's basically just hold them down defensively as best as you can, and you'll get the offensive chances when they come. And so that's basically what we got to do. I mean. So we got a lot of good offensive players this year, like I've said, and so we're going to really try and put some pucks in the net this year against them and really try and get a win out of them.
All right, thank you so much, Tom. That is the Mamaroneck hockey prospect junior, Tom Moretti, talking about Mamaroneck hockey. That was the voice of him, and we'll get right back to you after a short break. 11 minutes to go in halftime here. It is 22-8. Mamaroneck trails RC Ketcham. We're back with second half action in just a few.
Back here on LMC-TV, Varsity Sports. Third quarter action going to start now for Mamaroneck, down 22-8 to RC Ketcham. Now, Sam, what are you expecting in this half?
Well, in this half, I think Mamaroneck needs to keep up the intensity on defense. They started out in the first quarter very flat, and then you saw at the end of that half something very positive. They were able to stop Kevin Duke. And they were able to stop him in just a minute. So that's the kind of intensity you want to see on defense.
And it's a squib kick. He'll be taken by Skiandi, and he'll just go down at about the 30-yard line.
That's pretty big for Mamaroneck. You don't want to give them anything easy, so they'll take field position at the 27-yard line any day.
On the receiving.
A vital drive on defense from Mamaroneck, I think. If they're trying to get back into this game, you mentioned to me before this offense is very good. You were thinking Mamaroneck may need to score 4 touchdowns to potentially win this football game. So we'll see if they can get a stop here early and really get back into this game. Down 14, you're still sort of in it, but I think if they can get down 7 or a one-possession game, that will be huge for their confidence.
Yeah, Robert, even if their defense does come out and play perfect, I think you have to expect at least 14 points on Ketcham's side. So it's not out of the we've seen Mamaroneck score 28 points in a half before, and so they're probably going to need to do something around that if they're going to want to win this one.
So there was a offsides penalty, and they'll take it back to about the 25.
And even though that's going to help out the Mamaroneck Tigers, we've seen Kevin Duke actually excel on those long situations. We saw back in the first half, he had a second and about 22 following a holding penalty. He was able to complete it for about 25 yards. So you don't want to give Kevin Duke too much space to make some plays here.
We'll also see if Mamaroneck goes out with a more aggressive defensive style. As they were really getting grounded over on the ground by their fullbacks in the first half. So now they'll hand it off, and he's going to run to the outside and get tripped up at about the 27.
Something else that's big for Mamaroneck is they got their crowd into the last couple of minutes of that half. If they can keep that, it provides a major momentum boost, especially on a weekend like homecoming weekend. You can see the stands are completely filled, especially that student section. Looks like kids are falling out of the bleachers. It's so packed.
Well, it certainly is, Sam, and normally we do the games from those bleachers, but this time now we're taking from the away stands to give you a better view. It's nice to see them in your camera. And now they'll fake handoff, and Duke will throw, and he completes it to a wide open man to the 45-yard line, and he's still on his feet to the 47.
And J.J. Mulvey has had a very active night for RC Ketcham. You saw him run that nice little slant route right over the middle. The pass was a little bit behind him, but there was no one even near him, so he can safely turn around to try to get to that football.
Many people say Kevin Duke is the best quarterback in the section, and he's showing it off here tonight in Mamaroneck.
This Mamaroneck defense is no slouch either.
First down and 10 in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers, 3 to his right. He snaps the football and he'll run. He's done this several times tonight, but this time he stopped for a loss.
And Ryan Schutte was the first one to get to the quarterback Duke on that play, and you saw him reach his arm around to try to get to that ball, and maybe that's what Mamaroneck needs. They need to try to force some turnovers. This is a sound offensive team in RC Ketcham. They're not going to make many mistakes. So I think Ryan Schutte's just trying to force a mistake right there.
Yeah, I think if you get a fumble early in the second half, that could be big for your confidence and an easy way to move it downfield. Now it's second down and about 9 for or actually 10 for Ketcham, and he'll drop back and he'll throw an easy slant route or actually buttonhook, but he drops it. That was Mulvey, who has had 2 big plays today, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 10. A big opportunity for Mamaroneck to get off the field here.
And that was going to be one of the keys for Mamaroneck. Kevin Duke is a phenomenal quarterback for RC Ketcham. They were a little bit nervous coming into this one about their wide receivers and whether or not they would be able to hang on to the football. It's been very important for Duke to find a target like Mulvey who he can trust. So maybe just a little bit of a miscommunication there as Mulvey turned a little bit late on the play.
So 3rd down and 10. Mamaroneck down 8-22. They could use a stop here. They throw, and it's a screen. And is that going to be enough? He may get it. He's very close. He's actually stopped about maybe a yard or 2, and we'll see before the 1st down marker. We'll see if they go for it inside Mamaroneck territory.
And Ketcham may have caught a break on that play. One of their offensive linemen absolutely drilled the Mamaroneck player trying to make the tackle. So looked like head contact on the play. So maybe a little bit lucky that it is just 4th and a few. Offense staying on the field for Ketcham as well.
Well, it's just a 4th and about inches here, and they've been able to. They've had a great ground attack all night long. I think they're pretty confident that they can get it right here.
This is a huge spot for them. They've been running the ball perfectly. So look for a run here to Tom Skiana, their star fullback.
And the wishbone, and they give it to Skiana, and did he get it? I think he did, and they'll give him a 1st down.
And Skiana, it's a little bit scary how he is almost insured 4 or 5 yards on each carry. He is big and he is fast, and he has just plowed his way through this Mamaroneck defense today.
1st down, Indians.
We're inside 8:30 left to go in the 3rd quarter. And they're at the 39-yard line, Ketcham that is, and they have a 1st down and 10. Kevin Duke under center, and he'll hand it off to his tailback to the left side, and he's got a lot of space to the 30, down to about the 25. And that's where he'll be stopped, a 1st down for Ketcham.
And with that run, the Ketcham running backs are approaching 100 yards for the day. They've used a lot of different backs in this one. They have run the ball up and down on this Mamaroneck defense. But also something big for Ketcham has been the play of their quarterback, Kevin Duke, when he gets inside the red zone. 3 touchdown passes already for Duke.
And Duke will drop back, and he's going to roll out to pass. He throws it downfield, and it's completed. It's completed. Or no, it's incomplete. They're saying it hit the ground. The Ketcham fans do not like that call.
And you saw the referee, he had a good angle on that play. And you saw he was very confident that he saw that ball hit the ground. Mamaroneck catches a break there, as it's now a big 3rd and down. 3rd and long. Sorry, it's actually 2nd down and 10.
Incomplete. 2nd down.
So we're going to see what happens here. You see Robbie Niger over there. He's been playing quarterback in this one. He's been a very important part of this Mamaroneck defense. Saw him swat down a lot of passes, and we'll see how he can neutralize this strong passing attack.
And they'll give it off, and that is to Morgenstern, and he'll only get a couple yards. Or no, he'll break off. I get to about the 15-yard line.
And coming off the field on that play is J.J. Mulvey, who's been their star wide receiver today. So they're going to get him checked out. It could be a big hit for this RC Ketcham team.
Nearing 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 2 from the 15-yard line, and they'll hand it off to their fullback, and he's going to get a 1st down. That has been the big fullback for them. It is Tom Skiana. He's had a big game today.
And Robert, exactly what we said Mamaroneck had to do. They've done the opposite. 5-minute drive, over 5 minutes right now for RC Ketcham. They've driven all the way down the field. Now they have a 1st and goal. So if Mamaroneck wants to stay in this game, these are the kind of things that they cannot do.
Yeah, absolutely. The time of possession, not only are they in prime position to score, but they're wasting off a lot of time while they do it. And they get it to Scianna, and he'll get a couple yards on that carry.
And now this is very important for Mamaroneck. RC Ketcham has a very good kicker, but we saw that on a snap on an extra point, it flew over the holder's head. So Mamaroneck has got to at least force a try at the field goal if they're going to want to stay in this one. Hey, with still 6 minutes to go, a touchdown wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but with the way Mamaroneck's offense, the ineffective way that the Mamaroneck offense has been playing today, it could be a major hit. Dan McCarthy, he's been throwing a lot of deep passes, but just 1 for 10 for 42 yards and an interception in that first half.
Second down goal from the 8. He rolls out and he throws it, and it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown to Scianna. And now they lead 28-8.
And that will silence the Mamaroneck crowd. They came into this home game pretty confident. This one predicted to be a very close game. A lot of different sources saying a lot of different things. But RC Ketcham has come into this one, and they've put on a show so far offensively.
Naya to try to make it a 21-point lead. Snap is good, and the kick is up and good. 29-8 for the Ketcham lead. We'll be right back here on LMC-TV Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC-TV Varsity Sports. Ketcham leads 29-8 over the home team Tigers and on homecoming. Naya to kick it off. And it's another squib kick. It's going to be picked up by Marino, and they're saying his knee was down at the 15-yard line.
That's a rough break for the Tigers. And these fans, they didn't have to pay for the show, but they got one anyway. And the show's name has been Kevin Duke. And you didn't need a genius to predict this one. He's gone 11 for 18 for 154 yards and 4 TDs already in this game. And he has just made the Mamaroneck defense look silly. Offense is going to have to strike, and they're going to have to strike fast if they're going to want to stay in this one.
Well, certainly a must-score drive for Mamaroneck, as there will be a timeout called. With 5:50 left to go in the third quarter, we'll be right back. Back here on LMC-TV Varsity Sports, Robbie Nigro behind McCarthy in the ace formation. McCarthy drops back, and he'll give it off to Nigro, and he is stopped for minimal gain. Nigro with the only touchdown for Mamaroneck today on a big run.
And not to discredit the impact Robbie Nigro has on the game, but maybe it's time for Marquez Jackson Allen. He has a lot of speed, and although Robbie Nigro does as well, Marquez Jackson Allen has proven himself to be a very speedy back, and we've seen him break, and not only just 60-yard gains, but we've seen him get a solid 10 to 15 yards on most carries.
A change of pace may be what Mamaroneck needs to get back into this game. In the shotgun, and he'll pass on a screen to Marino, and it is dropped.
This Mamaroneck team is starting to look sloppy. So that's a pass. Well, I'm not sure if he really wanted to complete that, because he would have had a world of pain if Marino held on to that football.
Probably would have been a loss too, so maybe dropping that was beneficial for the Tigers, which will bring up a third down at about 9.
Well, there's nothing beneficial about 3rd and 9, and we've seen the Tigers have a lot of those today. Maybe trying to get some depth at wide receiver as the sophomore Alex Parkinson trots onto the field.
He did have a touchdown pass and catch in the first game of the season, though. I think he's somewhat of a reserve, somewhat of a starter this year. He should be impacted in his junior and senior years. And he'll throw, and it's to Nigro on a screen, and that could be effective. And he gets a first down, I do believe, to the 33-yard line.
And a good job by Nigro to break a couple of blocks, break a couple of tackles on that play. He's even going to stretch out to get an extra 5 yards on that play. And it may not seem big when you already have 25, but that can make all the difference in a game.
Come on, D! Come on, defense!
Inside of 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Mamaroneck down 21 points. 4 wide receiver formation on first down. Snaps it, he'll give it off to Marcus Allen, like Sammy said. Perhaps not the result they would have wanted, only maybe a 1-yard gain.
And Allen, they're just stuffing him right up the middle on that play. Maybe they need to get him a little bit more to the outside. Jackson Allen and Alex Parkinson, like we said before, the future of this team. Also, we saw warming up Reed Malice, one of the players who looks to take over in the starting quarterback position following Dan McCarthy's graduation next year.
And McCarthy's going to roll out to the left side, and he throws, and it's a completion to about the 40-yard line, which will bring up a 3rd down and about 2 or 3.
And Matt Moore coming in to make the catch that time. He's also a 2-sport athlete, a good baseball player as well, one of the solid players for Mamaroneck. I saw him get in there. He jumped a little bit late, but he was still effective as he gained a couple of yards.
So a critical 3rd down and 3 for Mamaroneck. They snap it, and he'll throw, and it's intercepted. Intercepted, and he's going to return it all the way for a touchdown for Ketcham. That was intercepted by Elon Walters. There's a penalty flag, however, on the return, I do believe, which should probably negate the touchdown, but not the interception. And right now, I don't know if it makes much of a difference for Mamaroneck.
And that could just about be the end of the Mamaroneck Tigers in this game. I don't know why the penalty flag is on the field. I'm not sure if it's a mistake or it really is. It's going to be against Mamaroneck anyway.
So it's a touchdown. It counts, so probably add on the yards to the kickoff. There's not too much point in giving it to them on the extra point.
Mamaroneck Tigers are in a position where, well, there's the 14 for RC Ketcham, or at least 13, so
yep.
I'd like to see the 28 right now. Mamaroneck hasn't shown much signs of success, though, in this game offensively. Dan McCarthy just threw his 2nd interception of the game, and even coming into that game, he only had 56 yards passing. He only completed 2 passes, and one of them was a screen pass. Sorry, he actually completed 3 passes. There was also the one to Moore, so he barely has over 50 yards passing, so not the day you want to see from the Mamaroneck offense.
And Anaya kicks it through, and it's going to be 35 or 36-8. RC Ketcham. We'll be right back. 28-point lead is not something you see Mamaroneck come back from very often. We'll see if they can do it here. So again, back here on LMC-TV, Varsity Sports. Ketcham is going to be kicking from the Mamaroneck 45-yard line. This is about field goal range for them, but it's on a kickoff. And that's going to go and be fumbled by Marino at the goal line, and he's going to try to make a big play for Mamaroneck down 28, and he may get one. He breaks down into the open field, 40-yard line, and he's stopped at about the 50. Big play by Matt Marino, and they get past where they kicked it off.
Robert, there are a lot of situations where this game is out of reach, but Matt Marino is not going to let that happen. He said coming into this game, he is the star of this team. This is his offense. This is his special teams. This is his defense. And that's the only way they're going to get back in the game. Matt Marino taking that one. He actually fumbled it, so he had a couple of seconds hesitation. He's still able to take that 50 yards. Fantastic play by Matt Marino.
So Mamaroneck will start the drive at about the 50-yard line. Maybe that's the spark they needed to come back. They can score quickly here, you know, and a couple more bounces go their way. They may not be out of this one.
They're going to need to get the offense going quickly, but we know they can.
And McCarthy, weird handoff to Jackson Allen, but they'll get a successful run for about 6 yards.
Jackson Allen with the carry.
Jackson Allen. It wasn't Jackson Allen, but one of his blockers got thrown out of that pile. But a 6-yard gain for Jackson Allen. So he's showing his strength, pushing ahead for a couple extra yards on that play.
2nd down and 4. Snaps it, and there's going to be a false start penalty, I do believe.
McCarthy's actually pointing to the other side, but it's going to go against Mamaroneck.
5-yard walk-off.
So that essentially negates all the yardage you got on the Jackson Allen run, and they'll bring up a second down and 9.
And that's been the kind of miscues for Mamaroneck. To start this game, they had a couple of big opportunities. The opening kickoff went back up to midfield, but they had to take it back for a holding penalty all the way down to the 15. Right after that, the first play of the game from scrimmage was an interception. So they've been really shooting themselves in the foot from the start.
And another flag.
Bring him back again.
I guess we're going to bring it back to the original line of scrimmage.
We'll bring it back to the other line of scrimmage.
Well,
Offsides, Ketcham.
And that is called a waste of time, Robert.
yep. Ketcham returning the favor there, and maybe we'll get a playoff this time.
We've seen them struggle on some of these plays with back and forth plays. You saw it with Sullivan.
And McCarthy will give it off to, I think that is Jackson Allen, or no, that's Compy, and he gets about a 2-yard gain.
Copy on the carry.
And the Mamaroneck running backs, it hasn't that they haven't been successful in this game. It's just they haven't had a lot of time to move the football. Against Sullivan, the Mamaroneck offense, and Mount Vernon for that matter, the defense absolutely dominated the other offenses. So they don't have a lot of time. They don't have a lot of time left in this game, and they were down a lot from the start. So they haven't had a lot of opportunities to make some plays.
And they'll give it off, and not going to be enough, I don't think, for the first down. And
This is not going very well.
we'll see where they mark it.
Looks like it's right on the marker.
We got an official timeout for measurement.
They're going to measure it now. And I think even if they don't get the first down, this is definitely 4-down territory for Mamaroneck.
And it probably is. Even if it is 4th down, you're about less than a nose of a football.
No, I mean, there's no way you could win this game and punt. We'll be right back on LMC-TV Varsity Sports.
And we start up with the beginning of the 4th quarter. Mamaroneck trailing by 28. They have a 4th and inches, and Matt Marino lines up in the backfield, trying to get the push, and I think he got it. He was pushed ahead for about a yard on the play. All he needed was about a couple of inches.
Ketcham's complaining that Jackson Allen actually pushed him for the first down, which is illegal. You know, a lot of Notre Dame fans will complain about the Bush push in 2005, but they'll give him for the first down anyway. They didn't see their call.
And Marquez Jackson Allen on the play that time. You saw him try to bring some momentum into Matt Marino, so a little bit questionable on that play. The refs have let a lot of things go today.
Except for those 2 offsides penalties.
I guess those are things you have to call.
Yep.
And Dan McCarthy sets up once again from the Ketcham 39-yard line. He has struggled, but he's only thrown it deep, and he goes deep again. Complete to Alex Parkinson. Touchdown, Mamaroneck. But don't get too excited. There's a flag down at the 42.
Well,
And they are bringing him back.
There's a flag on the play.
Looks like it's going to be a chop block against the Mamaroneck Tigers. So not only do the Tigers not get the touchdown, they'll move back 15 yards back into their own territory.
talking about a buzzkill there, Sammy.
More than just a buzzkill, Robert. Talk about poor execution for the Tigers.
Yep.
A lot of miscues in this game, and it could have been the difference between a 28 game and a 14-point game. So we've seen a lot of problems from Mamaroneck, and they're going to back it up to about the 49. I didn't even count.
Let's go, Ketcham! Let's go, defense!
And that's a mismatch you might want to continue to work with from Mamaroneck. Alex Parkinson has great hands, and he's very tall. So we could see them try to exploit that over the shorter corners. He's caught a couple of passes today also.
I mean, I don't know how much the block that was illegal really helped McCarthy on that play. I think it was just very unfortunate that the officials saw it. And I think in terms of the connection between McCarthy and Parkinson, that was superb.
And Ketcham trying to line up one of their taller defenders with Parkinson. McCarthy is wrapped up on the play. The ball comes out.
They're marking it down.
And they're going to say McCarthy was down on the play. And Mamaroneck starting to run out of time and run out of luck. They're at their own 43-yard line now. That'll bring up a 2nd and a mile.
Go defense, keep pushing them.
We'll see whose time it is to try to keep this game alive for the Tigers. You got Marino out there. Got the big man, Alex Parkinson. You even got Robbie Nigro in the backfield.
Gotta get to the opposing 30 to get a first down here, Sam.
Not a lot of time for McCarthy. Screen to Nigro. Nigro sheds one. Nigro breaks out to about the 48-yard line.
Good run.
That'll bring up about a 3rd and about 10.
Nigro.
And they're actually gonna. This one's actually gonna be a 3rd and much longer. Sorry, they did not get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Easy to get very confused with how far they were, Sam, huh?
And as we saw on that play, we thought they were a lot further up at the chop block. Cost them. It'll be 3rd and 20 on the play, actually. McCarthy looks deep. He has a man, Marino. Complete! Matt Marino all the way down to about the 10.
First down.
They may not win it, but they're still trying to put up a fight here.
Well, there are so many fans here in Mamaroneck. The whole entire student faithful still here, so I think they owe it to them to still give it their all.
It looks like there was even contact on the play. Marino made the play even with early contact. No flags were thrown on the play. But that's just the kind of clutch this Mamaroneck receiving corps is. And you see the 3 of them out there right now. Alex Parkinson, Matt Marino, and Will Hoffman. Will he look to them again? Hoffman in the corner. He overshot him.
Pass is incomplete. 2nd down.
.8:29 remaining in the game. Tigers trail RC Ketcham in a disappointing homecoming game for them. They trail 36-8. They had moments in this game where it looked like they could have been coming back, but halftime really hurt them. They took a long break. RC Ketcham started new, and they started off with 14 unanswered points. So now maybe a tough deficit for Mamaroneck to even come back from. Handoff to Jackson Allen. Does he have the corner? He is wrapped up at about the 9. And the clock continues to run on Mamaroneck's perfect season.
Yeah, I think for Mamaroneck right now, may not be in the cards tonight. I think they haven't executed very well, Sam. I think they made a lot of mistakes, which has really led to this seemingly insurmountable victory for Ketcham. Like too many flags and 2 interceptions by McCarthy have really hurt.
RC Ketcham 1-1 on the year, trying to improve to 2-1 on this season. One of the tougher teams in the section as well. They had to take on one of the top teams in the section, Mayo Pack, last week. Also beat Ramapo in their first week, while Mamaroneck had a pretty easy start to the season, taking on Suffern and Mount Vernon. McCarthy to the air, complete into the end zone, touchdown Mamaroneck. Andrew Somer, the sophomore running back, was in there to make the catch. And Mamaroneck is not done fighting yet. 36-14 right now. Tigers lead it. They faked the extra point the first time, and Ketcham trying to set up for that.
I don't know how much value that really gives you right here, but we'll try it anyway.
Allen in motion, just going to try to draw him off. It is a fake. Marino in a ton of trouble. Intercepted. And they'll roll it down.
in college, if you recover that, you can actually go all the way back for a touchdown, same in the NFL, or for 2 points, same in the NFL, but the rule in high school is different.
I think they actually ruled it incomplete on the play. I think the ball actually bounced coming up.
Oh.
So the score will remain at 36-14. We're going to take a short break and get right back to you. Set to kick this one away for the Tigers once again is Ryan Schutte. Mamaroneck trying to stay in this one. They trail by 22. It's an onside kick from Schutte. With good hands that time for the hands team of RC Ketcham. They'll start the drive at about the 46. And Robert, that may have been the last hope for the Mamaroneck Tigers. What do you think their mindset is coming into this drive?
I mean, I don't know if they really felt like they had too much of a chance. I think really they're going to need like a pick six or something like that to get themselves back into this football game. I think if they're just stopping them and running it downfield themselves, they're not going to have enough time to come back. They're going to need a couple of big plays to be able to win this football game.
We'll see if they even pass the ball here. Because they've run the ball no problem. They've used Duke when they've run into trouble. They've used him well. Thrown for 4 touchdowns and over 160 yards so far today. Kevin Duke trying to stay with it. He's going to hand it off to his halfback. That was Victor Hernandez. Hernandez gets it out to about the 48. We'll see how RC Ketcham plays one of the final drives of their game, or at least we expect. Indians taking their time. Robbie Nigro even in for the blitz, it looks like here. And still a lot of space that time for the fullback, Tom Skiana. He's had a very good game for RC Ketcham, and he is across the 40-yard line for another first down.
I think that's just been the story of the day for Mamaroneck. The running game has just been too good for RC Ketcham. And I think complemented by Kevin Duke's play at quarterbacks has just been too much for this Mamaroneck defense that's normally very good, but perhaps not good enough to beat this Ketcham team.
And something that was really surprising for Mamaroneck is we complimented a couple of weeks ago the production of the offensive and defensive line. They've had a lot of trouble in this one. Maybe this is what they need to see. Marquez Jackson Allen into the backfield on that one. That's going to be a loss of about 7. I'll actually mark it back. That's only a loss of 5 on the play, but still a great play by Jackson Allen to get into the backfield. And you see his speed come to use even on the defensive side.
Well, if you thought Mamaroneck was going to give up, certainly Jackson Allen, only a sophomore, he's just loving this opportunity to play. Normally juniors and seniors are the teammates here in Mamaroneck for varsity, but he's been called up as a sophomore, and he's very intense about his play.
Into the backfield again, bringing him down is Jeffrey Amato in the backfield. Duke went down hard, and it's going to be a 3rd and long from their own 47. Actually going to spot this one about the 49 where they say his knee went down. There was a big blitz on that play, and maybe this is what Mamaroneck needed to see. They don't fear the pass very much in those first 2 downs. They were able to get some of their speedier players into the backfield that time and get in there for the sack. Just under 5 minutes to play in this homecoming game for the Mamaroneck Tigers. Handoff once again, stuffed on the play, flag down now.
Carried by Crum Arts.
Flag is about their own 48 after a gain of about 4. And it's going to be on RC Ketcham. I'd be surprised if Coach Anthony Vitti accepts this one. They just want the ball back here with 4:42 remaining.
Yeah, certainly, and you also don't want more time to waste off. This stops the clock, so it's just a golden opportunity for them to get the ball back. 4:42 left left to go in this game. I don't know if that's going to be enough time for Mamaroneck, but certainly give them a bit of a chance.
Mamaroneck just, all they want is an opportunity in this game, at least to make it close. It could come down to their special teams unit in that onside kick. We're not quite sure how much time is left because the scoreboard has been malfunctioning in this game. We'll say around 4:22 to go in the game. As RC Ketcham lines up to punt. Back to return is two of the most dangerous players on this team, Matt Marino and Ravi Nigro. And the snap is almost over the head of the RC Ketcham punter. He gets off a good one. That one may have hit Will Hoffman, but it'll roll out of bounds anyway. 4:01 remaining in the game. Tigers maybe one last shot at it. They trail by 22.
First down.
And Mamaroneck set to start the drive here. They'll start from their own 17-yard line, it looks like. Dan McCarthy lines up under center. Got Ravi Nigro in the backfield. Man in motion is Marino. He's gonna hand this one off to Marino. Marino with a lot of speed. Still on his feet, spinning, and he's down at about the 31. A good run by Matt Marino, not only to pick up enough yards for the first down.
Well, it's smart for Mamaroneck to use the sidelines here, Sam, because not too much time left to go in this game. If you want to win it, if you're Mamaroneck, you can't waste any time being tackled in the field of play.
Well, last season, Mamaroneck had their share of comebacks. They were down to one of the top teams in the section, Clarkstown South, 17-0 in the fourth. They came back in that one, lost by just 3. McCarthy dumps this one off to Marino again. Marino has a lane, and he'll have another first down to about the 47.
I believe the clock does stop to move the chains, so there'll at least be a momentarily will be stopped, the clock.
And we'll probably see some hurry here from the Mamaroneck Tigers. Stan McCarthy hurries back onto the field. McCarthy has played a pretty good game. He has thrown very well, a lot of accurate passes, but his stats don't look as great. So he's been throwing a lot of deep balls, so a lot of them have been very accurate, but you know what, those deep balls, it's really a jump ball. Anything can happen. Double reverse over to, it looks like Compy, and Compy is gonna fight to about the 50-yard line. And the senior Stephen Compy is a third-string running back for the Tigers, but he does see a lot of time. And Dan McCarthy is gonna line up in the shotgun. Not much time left, just 2:30 to go. Mamaroneck doesn't seem to be in the biggest hurry. McCarthy looks deep, he's got an open man, complete.
He dropped it.
Well, Alex Parkinson dropped the ball on the play. Turned his back to the entire defense, so maybe hearing footsteps on that play. That'll bring up third down. It's been a rough night for the Mamaroneck Tigers on their homecoming weekend. The other teams have been playing pretty well. Mamaroneck soccer in their homecoming game. Boys soccer beat New Rochelle 2-0 last night. Boys soccer also winning 1-0 over Scarsdale. Off to a very good start, that team. Dan McCarthy looks deep again for Marino. Marino's open, and he just overshot him that time. And if Marino managed to get under that one could have easily been 6 points for the Tigers.
Yeah, McCarthy and Marino seem to be a little off today. Only really the screen passes are working for them, as normally they do get some more long passes completed.
And Matt Marino has been showing off his speed today. But McCarthy has just missed him on a couple of accounts. We saw he looked deep to Marino on the first play of the game in double coverage. Marino had him beat, but it was just a bit behind him. And then since then, McCarthy's been a little bit nervous. Marino isn't as tall as Alex Parkinson. He doesn't have the kind of vertical that Parkinson has, so maybe he's just trying to be careful not to turn the ball over. Speaking of Alex Parkinson, he slides to make the catch at about the 38, and that's going to be a first down from Mamaroneck. That was a good job by Parkinson to stay in bounds on that play, too. It's tough to make those sliding catches, especially when you're near the sidelines. He was able to keep his hands on the ball, keep most of his body in bounds, and that results in another Tigers first down. Under 2 minutes to go in the game, with Carthy back to throw again to Parkinson. Overshot him, but there's a flag down.
I would imagine that's pass interference. It's debatable if that was catchable or not, but maybe the shove was what made him not be able to get to the ball.
There was some contact, definitely, while the ball was in the air. We'll see if it's either defensive holding or interference. And it is going to be holding against the RC Ketcham Indians. So not as good as it could have been for Mamaroneck. His holding will push him up 5 yards and give him a first down. Looked like Parkinson had some space on that play. So with 1:44 to go, Tigers 27 yards away from their third touchdown of the game. But it is most likely too little, too late. As RC Ketcham has run circles around them offensively, jumped off to an early 16-point lead. Since then, it's been hard for them to come back. Will Hoffman makes the catch, and then he'll spin forward for a gain of close to 10. They're going to be moving the chains.
Mr. Hoffman, that's another first down.
McCarthy trying to hurry up his offense.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe a little too late for Mamaroneck. Some of the fans starting to exit out now. Before, we're very opportunistic, but maybe not anymore.
A screen pass over to Marino. Marino trying to duck one, but they got a hold of the jersey, and here comes the flag. Well, the referee has tried to keep the flag in his pocket, but it keeps slipping out.
I don't know how he's really trying, though.
He's called a lot of penalties, and especially on this last drive. Saw maybe a defensive hold again. Don't see that often. It's actually going to be a horse collar penalty against RC Ketcham. That's a personal foul, so they'll move half the distance. They're up to inside the 10-yard line. Dan McCarthy back in the gun again. To the end zone. Incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
And with 48 seconds remaining in this one,
Coach Pineiros,
the Mamaroneck Tigers will fall to 2-1 on the year. RC Ketcham will move up to 2-1. But it has not been a disappointing week for the Mamaroneck Tigers. They've shown a lot of spirit from the students, a lot of support from the staff. They've had some very big athletic accomplishments. Boys and girls soccer playing very well. Girls tennis still undefeated in their section. The handoff is going to go to Nigro up the middle. He's going to be short. He got out to about the, looks like right around the 5-yard line.
I think this is may feel like a big loss for Mamaroneck, but they have 4 more games remaining, all very winnable for them. If they could end up 6-1, I think they'll be pretty happy with their regular season.
And off to Nigro again. Is he in? Yes, he is. 10 seconds remaining. Sorry, we'll call it 9 seconds remaining in the game. And Robbie Nigro just going to put up some points here. 6 more makes it 36-20. And maybe just trying to get in some minutes before. Actually, now there's 4 seconds left on the clock. The clock has been all over the place today. And now trying to get in some minutes before they take on Ramapo next week. And the clock continues to have some issues as there is no time left So only time for an extra point or a 2-point conversion here for the Tigers.
The kick is up and it is good.
And that'll do it for this one. The Mamaroneck Tigers, they came and they fought hard, but the RC Ketcham Indians came and they fought harder. Make it 2 in a row for RC Ketcham. They came back down 20-7 last year to win it 21-20. They were up from the start and they kept the lead. 36-21, the Mamaroneck Tigers fall. And this was not a performance for the defense to remember. Stay with us for just a couple of minutes after our presentation, as we will have the post-game show plus post-game highlights with Coach Vitti. Mamaroneck was off to a very good start to this season. And now with the game here, now going on the road to Ramapo, they've got some work to do. Robert, what do you take away from this one?
I think it was a good victory for Ketcham after a tough loss to Mayopac last week for them. They get back to winning ways, but I think for Mamaroneck, they got to hold their heads high. If they go 6-1, that would still be a great season for them. So they can't take too much from this loss. Perhaps Ketcham was just too good of a team this year. Perhaps they just didn't play their best game. Whatever the reason is, they have to move on.
And probably without a doubt, the player of this game was Kevin Duke, the outstanding quarterback for RC Ketcham, threw for 4 TDs, and he just played fantastic. We'll take you onto the field now for the alma mater. As the Mamaroneck faithful still trying to show that they have their spirit here. Tigers, they'll hang their heads in shame, but they did not play a terrible game. We're back with a post-game show in just a minute. Mamaroneck loses to RC Ketcham, 36-21. I'm back here on the post-game show with Coach Vitti. And Coach, there was a rough one out there, but we're not going to talk about the game. We're going to talk about what's next for the Mamaroneck Tigers and what you guys are going to do coming forward in this game.
Well, I think emotions got the best of us early. I know we're not going to talk about the game, but, we have a solid bunch of guys. And I think, our coaching staff and our kids will steel themselves up. We'll take this one in stride. It's a bit of a humbling experience, and I think we'll bounce back. I mean, I know what kind of character we have in that locker room, and, we're talking about it right now on the field, the coaches, that we just want to get back to work.
And you guys have still some tough teams on your schedule, taking on Ramapo, and you also have you get to play Mount Vernon again. So looking ahead at your schedule, what do you think you guys are going to do to try to improve?
It's about us. Every week it's about us. We know we have an opponent at the edge of the week, but we have to make sure we're all right. Our house is in order, and tonight it wasn't in order, and we did some uncharacteristic things. So really, we'll focus on our opponents day in and day out, one day at a time. But we're really going to look at us and do some soul searching this weekend and fix what we need to fix on Monday.
All right, thank you, Coach. Best of luck to you guys.
Thanks a lot.
Back here on the post-game show, wrapping up a Mamaroneck Tigers loss to the RC Ketcham Indians. They lost this one 36-21 on their homecoming weekend. And although Mamaroneck did not put up the best performance, Kevin Duke did play very well. And Robert, what kind of effect do you think he had on this game?
Yeah, Kevin Duke for Ketcham was really big for them. I think he's just such a great quarterback. A lot of people are saying he's the best in the section. I would say he's definitely one of them. And I think Mamaroneck's defense, normally their front seven's very good, but since they had to defend with their 4 defensive backs, they couldn't stop the run. And you saw that today. They were able to just run it and throw it all over them today on defense, and the offense wasn't good enough for the victory.
The offensive line of Varsity Ketcham was very impressive. They helped them move the ball running-wise, and Kevin Duke was able to capitalize on some of the Mamaroneck mistakes. So that should just about do it for us here on LMC-TV Varsity Sports. The camera crew for today's game is Matt Meyerson, Matt Donaghy, and Rob Moretti. The executive producer of LMC-TV is Erik Lewis, the associate director is Matt Sullivan, and the community sports producer is recently knighted Sir Rob Moretti. For Sam Blunt and Robert Riemer, Robert, go get some bed rest. Thank you for joining us.